The last full day of competition at the 2017 FIM International 6 Days of Enduro, and a last chance for teams to make up larger chunks of time with a hope of closing for the final cross test on day 6. The riders head into the Vallée de la Vézère for the second time, repeating the day 4 course and specials. The top 2 World Trophy teams entered day 5 with an injured rider each, and well aware that a retirement for either would end their hopes. Finland were best placed to take advantage after a consistent and incident-free week, but in terms of pace they only dropped further back. The Finns had still been in contention for second position, but lost a further minute to Australia, and their hopes of climbing without incident for either of the top 2 teams are realistically over. Australia consolidated second position as Daniel Sanders, with a strapped-up right arm, battled to the end of the final day. In fact, it was a competitive enough performance as well from Sanders, who finished his team's second fastest representative behind Daniel Milner. Again, their standout performer, now moving 4th individually. It's been a week of domination for the French team, and only on day 5, with Christophe Nambertin riding injured and his teammates riding safely to ensure completion of the event, have they been beaten. Australia were the fastest outfit by 28 seconds, but the French 4 were consistent and stable enough to make a first title since 2014 and is certainty for the hosts. It's been a very tough day today. We're very tired, and so are bikes and bodies. We've really just managed this day through, and now the target is to maintain this advantage to the end of the week.
Et maintenant, le but, c'est de rester avec cette avance jusqu'à la fin de la semaine.
For the first time all week, the top 3 teams are separated by less than a minute, with France beaten in the day's classifications for the first time. But their advantage stands at over 7 minutes coming into the final day, and barring incident, the World Trophy rankings look settled. The Junior World Trophy has been the most competitive category all week, and on day 5 the top 5 teams were incredibly separated by less than 2 minutes. But it's the top 3 teams that have been in contention throughout, and it now looks as though the fight will go to the wire between the top 2. The USA, since dropping back on day 3, have been unable to recover, cannot now expect to make back 2 minutes, and will surely finish 3rd. A slow start to the day for Davide Serrecca threatened to derail Italy's late bid for top spot, but the 22-year-old bounced back to top his team's result and help them eat into the advantage held by the French outfit up front. In the context of the close margins between the lead teams all week, gaining 16 seconds on day 5 was a mammoth effort, but the Italians may still find themselves too far from France going into the final day. The French junior team will be crossing their fingers for good fortune in the final cross test, with the junior trophy in the balance after the last full day. Less than 30 seconds separate the top 2 teams, the French trio therefore under pressure to remain error-free. Jérémy Miroir, fastest of the French team on day 4, was slowest on day 5, but little more than 10 seconds separated the trio in the timings. Every day 3 or 4 teams have fought with nothing in it, which is good because we're caught up with that. But we can't afford any mistakes. Now we can't wait for the end of the week because we're really starting to mark time. Vastly improved performances from the inexperienced Great Britain team, who looks certain to finish best of the rest in 4th, having run on the pace of the top 3 on both days 4 and 5. But France and Italy will be the 2 contenders in the final cross test, incredibly separated by less than 30 seconds. With 1 dropped rider available in each of the Women's World Trophy teams, major position changes in the final days are highly unlikely. But already without Samantha Tichet since her day 3 retirement, France are most at risk of losing their ranking should either of their remaining 2 riders suffer in the final test. The USA are over 17 minutes clear of France and settled in second position. Casey Martinez put in a counting performance for the first time this week, alongside teammate Brandy Richards, who remains the top performing American woman. A fifth successive title is now a mere formality for Australia, who could even afford to lose one rider in the final cross test and still come out victorious, thanks to their mammoth 7-minute advantage. Tyler Jones finished only third fastest on the day to end realistic hopes of an individual victory. Laya Sands set for that honour, provided she finishes day 6.
Yeah, definitely. I had way too many crashes today, but our team's still on top going into the final moto, and we can't really lose it now, so that's always a plus, and we'll just go out there and have some fun tomorrow.
The Women's World Trophy looked settled as soon as Spain suffered their Day 2 double retirement, but since then the Australian outfit have continued to race towards the title largely without incident. The Women's World Trophy is the only category in which the French team are placed out of contention heading into the final day of the 2017 FIM International 6 Days of Enduro.